Hello, one and all, and welcome to yet another improv comedy skit. As you can see, there is a doggy in the background. 2 of them! Anyways, so I'm out in the truck right now, and my partner's in an appointment, but besides the point, so here's a few funny things that I often run into as being a parent of one gender who identifies as the opposite gender. I go to pick up my youngest son from school, who is also trans as well. And so I go to pick him up, and first off, the office people keep calling him a her, even though it's on his file that he is a he. And then they see me come in to pick him up because, he's not feeling good from school or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, I'm here to pick up Azrael. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they go, so, Azrael, your mom's here. No. And keep in mind, they've met my partner on more than one occasion, so they know exactly what she looks like. And, my partner has back disability, so she walks with a walker. And I do not. I do have a nerve injury in my back, but that's nothing in comparison to what she has. And so it's like, it's pretty clear we're not the same person. And I've told them many times that I go by Jack and male pronouns. And they're always like, oh, okay. But then every time I come in, they're like, oh, hi, how are you doing? How's the family? How's fun? And, oh, life of a mom must be so great. I'm like, I wouldn't know. You could ask my partner. I'm dad. Like, it's so annoying. And the amount of times you have to keep telling them, this is my child's gender. Even on the phone, I call in to say, my kid stayed home sick today. This is how they were feeling, why they didn't come in. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll make sure to put that in her chart. His chart. Why is it so complicated? Anyhow, recently my partner got me this shirt, too, that said the only choice I ever made was to be myself, and the lettering's in the transgender pride colors. It's super awesome. I keep washing it and wearing it, like, every other day, and sometimes a couple days in a row, because it's awesome. Anyways, and lady's gonna bark at something, apparently, in a minute here. There she goes. Bark at the wolf! Are you barking at the wolf seat? Ah, wolf seat. Anyways, and, so moving on. Just like in stores, it's so funny when people come up and they, talk to me from behind. They're always like, oh, excuse me, sir. And as soon as I turn around, it's like, I meant ma'am. I'm sorry. And I'm like, no, first time was right. Or when people don't know what to say because they're not sure exactly, what you are. Not trying to be insulting, but I've run into this on a few occasions. And people are just like, oh, excuse me, sir, miss, it thing. And you're like, are you talking to me? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, oh, okay, why didn't you just say so? And they look so puzzled because they're like, well, I was trying to, I didn't know how. Sometimes you just gotta find the amusement in it, right? Lady, be quiet. And then, for instance, shh. With my grandparents, I had my step-grandpa calling me, and he's like, hey, you're the man of the house now, so make sure everything's locked up. You gotta lock up your whole house. Don't forget to duct tape your door. And I'm like, why the fuck I get duct tape the door? He's like, it makes the lock stick better. It puts something in the fucking lock that's meant to lock. The lock is what's supposed to be for safety. I'm supposed to shove some tape in it now, too? And then he keeps joking, oh, I'm gonna buy you a gun. I gotta buy you a gun so in case anyone breaks in. I'm like, okay, Grandpa. Whatever. He just cracks me up. And then my grandma, the other day and stuff, they were, oh my goodness, they were being so ridiculous. My grandpa's like, Grandma, you gotta come over here and help me unload stuff from the freezer, because they're doing some groceries or whatever. And my grandma goes, well, you know where the stuff in the freezer is, so you unload it. It sits back down. He goes, no, it does sit. I need your help. And then she's like, oh, he's needing my help. need my help, need my help. The only help I ever do is I stand there and I watch him do stuff because he won't let me help. But he tells me I need to come help. But then I just have to stand there and be like, while holding a bag. And he puts stuff in the bag and then tells me what goes in the bag. And I'm just like, okay. And then that's it. Then he takes the bag away from me and hands it to you. So why am I there helping him with the bag? And they're always like nitpicking on each other and stuff too. And they argue about my gender too. Like my grandma will call me like she and her and stuff. And Greg goes, no, Yolanda, it's he and him. He's man of the house at home. He's the dad now, remember? Like da-da-da-da-da. And my grandma would be like, Phil, no, he's not. That's my granddaughter. And he goes, well, not anymore. That's not what she said. Or that's not what he says. And grandma's like, I don't care what she says. She's still my grandbaby. And my grandpa's like, well, you should care. Because maybe she'll stop visiting. And she's like, she's only going to stop visiting if you don't stop calling her all the time on the phone, Mr. Telephonitis, which is an imaginary disease my grandma's decided my step-grandpa has. It's called telephonitis. It's really fucking funny. But anyways, and it's because he calls everybody all the time to like just to check in because he gets bored. So he'll call like everyone. And my grandma's like, he's telephonitis. And I'm like, what the hell is that? She's like, it's the disease that he has. I'm like, okay, so we're making up diseases now. But yeah, so there's not as much in this video as I was hoping for. Mostly because, like I said, this is improv comedy. So it's whatever's coming to my head is just coming out of my mouth. There's like hashtag no filter here. So my step-grandpa likes to make a lot of jokes. He's an extremely racist person to the point that it is actually impressive that I did not grow up to become a racist myself. Every race that isn't my step-grandpa's race, according to him, is better off dead and is bad. Including Mexicans, which is hilarious because he's with my grandmother, who he's been with for over 35 years, who is a Mexican. And I'm part Mexican, and Irish, and Aztec, and Italian, and British, and a couple other things. But anyways, besides the point, so it's just, it cracks me up how he does that, but there's so many, like, double standards behind it. Like, we'll be driving in the car together, like him driving, which, by the way, is one of the scariest experiences I've ever had in my life. And he'll be sitting there, and, like, somebody's driving slow, for instance, okay? And he'll just decide that it has to be somebody of a certain ethnicity that has a different eye shaping or something. So, according to him, that means they can't see as well. And it's like, maybe it's just someone that's not familiar with the area and isn't sure where they're going. Maybe they're trying to follow maps, you know? Like, but whatever. My dog is digging at the seat for no apparent reason because she's weird. Lady? Hi, you're on camera. What are you doing? Anyways, so, yeah, so stuff like that, you know, or like, what else? Oh, we go to a restaurant, and he'll be like, look, that Mexican over there, I hope he doesn't spit in my food. Why would he spit in your food randomly? Because all Mexicans spit in food. Grandma doesn't spit in her food. I don't spit in my food. I don't spit in other people's food. Well, you're only part. That doesn't count. Well, Grandma's not. Grandma doesn't spit in people's food. And he'll just be, shut up, Jesse, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, okay. That's the other thing. My family hasn't gotten used to the whole Jack thing, so they often still use abbreviations for my previous name, which was Jessica, so I get called, like, Jess, Jessie. Rarely J, it's usually Jess or Jessie, and I almost never hear the full name. But, you know, okay. You take some things as a grain of salt. It's an adjustment, and at least they're starting to come around to certain parts of the gender. It's been a journey, that's for sure. Yeah. And it's always funny that when you come out, the people you expect to have a harder time with it aren't the ones that have a harder time with it. My grandparents have had an easier time with this than I think any other family member. I mean, in my biological family. Obviously, my kids and partner are supportive. They always have been. But, yeah, so, yeah. And, this is... Life is a funny thing, man, let me tell you. The other day I was walking, down the street or whatever, just to go into a store. And I overhear this guy talking to himself, And he's reciting the forecast to himself. Just randomly, just outside the grocery store. I'm going in to get an energy drink. And he's just like, and then tomorrow there will be rain. And it will be 85 degrees while it rains. And I'm like, dude, it's like 100 degrees outside right now. It's not going to start raining. It's just not. Anyhow, so, yeah. And then, my weather app, by the way, which I tended to count on, and I'm in the habit of counting on, I found out I can't anymore, because it's when it was going to rain today. It rained, like, lightly last night, and, as you can see, there is no such thing as any rain around me. Dun, 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 dun. Anyways, so this is just kind of a short check-in because I'm really, really not prepared, and I realized that this was way overdue, so I decided I should at least put something up because it's way overdue. But life keeps happening, and we've been under a lot of distress right now. We're trying to work on seeing if we can keep our house. We do rent, and we're trying to work some things out with the landlord, so we'll see how that goes at the end of the month. So I don't know if I'll be able to check in with you guys again before then, but I will do my best. Yeah, we could definitely use some help. Feels like we're getting, like, buried. But what can you do? We'll work it out. I love you guys, and I just wanted to check in and say hello. And cute puppy lovey doves, lovey doves. Where are they? Can't get them in camera. Or there it goes. Say bye-bye, girls. Precious, say bye-bye. Ladies, say bye-bye. Ladies like, I don't give a fuck. Alright, bye.